Hey, Pastor Kevin here, and we are discovering your spiritual type. And today we're going to be talking about speculative apophatic spirituality, what Corrine Ware calls a kingdom spirituality. I much prefer to call it an activist spirituality. And if you look at the top left-hand side of the spirituality wheel, these folks are action-oriented, many single-minded. They are focused on what they want to do. They're involved in demonstrations. They're involved in rallies, community organizing. Their spirituality is known by what they do. They have to put concrete action into what their spirituality is all about. On the people on the right hand of the spectrum who are anti-abortion, these folks are protesting outside of clinics. On the left side of the spectrum, they might be rallying for peace in front of the parliament or whatever. So these are very activist-oriented people who have a very action-oriented spirituality. But there's also a quieter version of this. Folks who for whom their faith is just what they do. I had a parishioner in Lethbridge who didn't say very much, certainly didn't say very much about his faith, but he was always active at the church. He was doing something, he was fixing things. At his funeral, I mentioned that if you wanted to know who he was, don't listen to anything he said because he didn't say very much. Just watch what he does. Watch what his actions are through the day, of serving others, of just doing something quietly under the radar screen. That is another form of activist spirituality. Activist spirituality is also with those who are, say, organizing food for a family who has just lost a loved one, or those who are just in the church putting up banners, changing the altarware, or just volunteering with their time, with their talents. That is also an activist spirituality. The shadow side of this spirituality is moralism. They think they are morally better than others because they're on this crusade with this cause, and they can't understand why everyone else isn't following them in their cause in this crusade. And they think because they're actively focused on this one issue, that they are better, more moral than anyone else. And of course, that's simply not true. Spiritual care and growth for this type 4, this activist spirituality, is to help this person see that their actions in the broader scheme of the world, to see how their actions actually impact a broader sense of the world rather than their own singular cause. And that helps bring them into a greater sense of what their cause can be, also a greater sense of their life and their impact in the world. Do you see yourself in this spirituality? Do you see that your spirituality needs to have feet? You need to have your hands moving, doing something. If so, what have you been doing to express your spirituality in an activist way? Leave it in the comments. Let us have a conversation. On Sunday, we're going to be talking about, from the book, The Circle as Invitation to Spiritual Wholeness, recognizing that we are not just one type of spirituality, that we often have all four pieces of the wheel within our own spirituality. Some are stronger or more dominant than others, which kind of inform and flavor how we experience the rest of them. But again, as she calls this, an invitation to spiritual wholeness.